All right, everybody, so Mike Lyons here. We're going to be working on shoulder day today, but I'm going to go over something that actually is something that I've dealt with over the past, and I've had a few people write on my shoulder days and shoulder exercises. So anybody with shoulder ailments that physically can't do presses because it hurts, or it's doctor recommended or something like that, there's a lot of times where you just can't press overhead. So I'm going to show you a shoulder day with bands incorporated to help with your shoulder health, but also keep building muscle without doing shoulder press. I know that is kind of far-fetched for a lot of people because they think shoulder press equals muscle growth in the shoulder, but you still can progress with shoulders without shoulder press. I know it's hard, but it's something that can be done. So that is my thought process on today. So we are going to start with a machine standing side lateral in this Atlantic machine. If you don't have something like this, just use like a seated machine that has the pads on the elbows, which most gyms do have if they don't have something like this. So basically what I'm doing is I'm warming up the side delt as we kind of progress into this. So you're going to do 6 sets of roughly around 15 to 20. So you're really doing a high rep range, and then really emphasize. So if you're using this machine, I usually like putting my hands on the inside, but today I'll kind of just do regular. And basically you stand there with that slight bend over. You're thinking elbows, not where these handles are going, where your elbows are going. And chest comes up as you go. So chest comes up. And where you're working on shoulder health, do everything really nice and slow, like nice and tempoed. So this is not something where I'm just gonna start ripping it like normal. So a lot of this stuff is gonna be slow and progressive. So nice and slow on the way up and on the way down. So now that I demonstrated it, the big thing with this one is really warming up the shoulder. So you're going to do 4 to 6 sets of this one, 2 feeders, 4 working sets. High rep range, 15 to 20. And as you saw, it was nice and slow and progressive. So really just kind of warming up the shoulder before we get into the meat of the workout. But the big thing is we're working on shoulder health. So I don't want you dropping the pin and going real heavy on this one, because that in itself is going to put too much pressure on the shoulder, and especially the rotator cuff, if that is where your injuries lie. So now we're going to move on to exercise number 2. It's actually going to be a superset, and it's going to be rear delts and bands. So, all right, so if you don't have a machine like this, you can do rear delt on the pec deck. So the big thing, as I've shown before, if you're doing anything rear delt, you're really going to push that shoulder down and away from you. And what I mean by that is, if I'm in here like this, a lot of people, what they do is they retract before they come back. You got to really kind of push everything out and away. You're pivoting from that shoulder joint. And you don't have to come all the way back. It's such a small muscle that you're recruiting right now. And again, you see that I'm going nice, slow, and controlled. So for that one, you're going to go to absolute failure. And then what I would like you to do is those little butt bands you see or anything like that, the ladies always use them, Or if you have a really tiny micro band, you're gonna put it around your wrist like this. You're gonna find a piece of wall, and then you basically put your hands on it. You lean yourself away, and you pull them apart. So there's basically some tension there, and you're gonna walk yourself down, and then walk yourself back up. And what this is called is basically spider crawls or wall crawls. And it's something I actually had prescribed to me by the late great John Meadows. And I found that it really helped with my shoulder mobility. And I'm gonna tell you, if you do them right, your shoulders are gonna start burning on your 5th or 6th trip up and down this wall. So you're gonna do 10 trips, and 1 trip is basically down up. So that is it for that superset. So you're gonna do failure on the rear delts, 10 trips with this, and we're gonna do that for 4 sets. So at the end of those 4 sets, your shoulders are gonna start really, really screaming. They're gonna have a huge pump on them. And then we're gonna move on to an actual triple set with dumbbells to finish it off. It's gonna be a really quick workout, but the whole basically premise around this workout is shoulder health, getting as much blood in there as we possibly can. So let's move on to that triple set. All right, so we're gonna move on to finish up this shoulder day with a triple set. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna do 10 side laterals, 10 front raises, and then right back into 5 side laterals, 5 front raises. Then I'm gonna stand up with a red band and I'm gonna do 3 ways. So it's high volume. It's a lot of lactic acid buildup, and you basically got to fight to keep the form proper. And that is the essential thing that I'm trying to instill in people is once you get to the point where you're going to fail, fight to keep that form pristine as much as you possibly can without the swing, without the other things, because that in itself is aiding in healing of the joints. It's aiding in lessening of injuries, stuff like that. And if you already have an ailment, especially in your shoulders, you don't want to get into that habit of swinging, and then once you are healed and start using the heavier weights, you're still going to be in that bad habit and you're going to injure yourself again. So this is the time to build the good habits. So slight lean forward. I'm going to come up. I'm going to do 10 this way. 7, 8, 9, and then 10 front. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then back to the sides again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to the fronts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. All right. And you basically do a quick stand up. All right. Bring yourself up parallel, open, close. Open, close. And notice that I'm pausing on each one of those. And the pause is basically to make sure that I'm keeping the form correct. So up, pause, open, pause, close, pause, down. All right, so basically Do the 10, 10, 5, 5. Then you start on this, and you're basically gonna go until you cannot do that form correctly. And we're gonna finish off the shoulder day with 5 sets of this. So it's gonna be a brutal burn and a massive pump. But the thing that I'm pressing, and I can't press it enough, make sure your form is correct. Because the whole point of this day is to do it without pressing because you're already injured. So if you're already injured, you wanna make sure that your form is correct before you jump back into heavy weights again. And a lot of people make that mistake is during the injury, they do lighten their weights up, but they keep that bad habit and that bad form of swinging and all this stuff. And once they go back into the heavy weights and everything's healed again, within a month, within 2 months, they tore something else and they're right back into the injury rehab again. So take this time to really staple home proper form before you jump back into that heavy weight. So hopefully everyone liked that shoulder, more of a pump rehab day. I know I've utilized those days numerous times after I've torn my rotators. So drop the comments, let me know what you guys think about that and any other rehab days you want me to throw up on there, because I'm more than willing to help. Peace.